Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kali, and this is week 23 of my weight loss and self-discovery journey. This has been an awesome week. I have gotten tons of feedback on my selfies that I posted in the last video that I put on Facebook and Instagram. I really appreciate all of the feedback that I have gotten. Has all been positive. So thank you so much. Please continue to watch, send to friends, so that my channel can continue to grow and I can reach more people. So this week, I want to talk about my 7 pieces of advice for starting your own journey maybe. Now, most of these are kind of geared more towards weight loss. However, I think you can probably fit these into any journey that you want to start, whether it's a self-discovery journey or starting a new path, whatever that path may be. Whatever it is, I wish you the best of luck with it. So number 1 is never give up. I mean, that's kind of a golden rule for anything in life, right? Never stop the journey. You may have some bumps and some divots in the road, but just continue on. Never give up. Number 2, this kind of ties into the first one, but don't be so hard on yourself. Yes, there are going to be times where you are not going to eat what you think you should be eating, and there are going to be times where you have decided, I'm not working out today. Okay, that's fine. Just get back on it tomorrow. But don't beat yourself up for not doing it. There are going to be times where you actually need that mental break, and that break could be the key to you continuing on with the journey. Because how many times have you failed in doing a diet or doing an exercise plan because you tried too hard and you just couldn't continue with that momentum? It's happened to me a lot. But what I have found now is there's going to be days where I just can't. And instead of forcing myself either to do, or if I don't do, then decide I messed this day up, so now I might as well quit. That isn't the attitude that we need to have in order to continue. So don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself time if you need it. But just like number 1, keep going and don't give up completely. Number 3, this is one of the hardest ones, but it is probably one of the more important ones actually, which is be honest with yourself. Why are you eating the way that you're eating? Being honest with yourself isn't just about, oh, well, I was hiding food in the pantry so that my husband didn't find it. I actually was hiding stuff in the office, not the pantry. But it isn't just about that. It's about what is it that I actually am going for. And for a long time, it was just, I want to look good. But it really isn't about that. It's about being healthy and being happy and what's going to make me happy. And being a size 2 probably isn't going to make me happy. But what is going to make me happy is not having to take 8,000 medications every day for my diabetes. So my number 1 goal is, yeah, I want to get to 300 pounds, but ultimately it's to be healthy enough to not be on medications. And it takes time sometimes to understand that about yourself. So you have to find what you really want and start to strive for that. But in order to do that, you have to be 100% honest with yourself. Why you're doing things, why you're not doing things, and what it is that you actually want out of life. Number 4, take it slow. What is it that we normally do, right? On Monday, we start a diet and we go, I'm going to start by only eating 1 slice of chicken and 2 stalks of broccoli every day. I'm only going to eat 800 calories, 1,200 calories a day until I reach my goal weight. Seriously? Yesterday, you just ate a whole roll of pepperoni and a box of oatmeal cream pies. You're not going to eat 1 chicken breast and some broccoli the next day. That's unrealistic. If you can do that, great. I couldn't do it. And if you are the weight that I was, you're not doing that. Sorry, not going to happen. What I recommend doing is taking it small. Don't eat that one extra bite. Tomorrow, don't eat those 2 extra bites. Whatever it is, take it slow and do the small steps. Don't rush completely into something if you're not ready for that, because more than likely you're going to give up. So take it one small step at a time. There's no shame in that. None. If you're working towards that goal and this is what you have decided is the best thing for you, no shame. Do it. It's for you. Number 5, celebrate the small wins. It's easier said than done. I know that one way that I used to celebrate wins was with food. So it sometimes becomes difficult to celebrate the wins because you don't know how. Well, I started by getting facials, maybe get your nails done or get a pedicure. So that's something I plan on using as a celebration. Get my feet done, my crusty feet. I think that would make really everybody in my life happy. And it doesn't have to be anything big. If celebrating to you means you walked to the mailbox today, so now you're going to run around in the backyard blowing bubbles in your bathing suit, awesome. It's about what makes you happy and celebrating your win. Number 6, it's going to sound simple, but it has worked for me. Find a hobby. Doesn't have to be an expensive hobby, doesn't even have to be a big hobby, but find a hobby. When you are finding this hobby or rediscovering a hobby maybe even, do not associate it with food. I started watching K-pop. I started these videos. Those are things that I am counting as my hobby, and I don't associate them with food. So when I'm editing, I don't eat. When I am watching K-pop, I try not to eat. When I am working out to my K-pop dances, I'm obviously not eating. So it takes my mind away from thinking about food. My mother has told me for years to get a hobby. And I was like, but I don't want one. My hobby is being lazy and eating oatmeal cream pies. But let's face it, that hobby wasn't getting me anywhere. So I know it's small, but it has worked for me. So maybe it'll work for you too. So number 7, I did this a lot. And so this is really one of those hard ones to talk about because I never want to sound like I'm judging or being preachy. So here we go. Take responsibility for your actions. Really, again, a life lesson versus just a weight loss journey piece of advice. But one thing that I did for years is if a diet wasn't working out for me or an exercise plan wasn't working out for me, I would blame someone else, whether it was someone in my life, the instructor, the person who created the diet, whatever the case was, because I was placing the blame elsewhere. But it falls solely here. I'm the only one that is responsible for the outcome of any diet or any plan or any lifestyle change that I'm on. The choices that I made put me at 420 pounds. That wasn't on anybody else. And there was a time that I would get so mad at my husband because I would tell him, you let me get to 420 pounds, but that's insanity. It's not his responsibility. He's not 420 pounds. I was making the decision to eat that and not get up and exercise. No one else can make those decisions for you. These are things that you have to decide for yourself. And while sometimes we don't like taking responsibility for ourselves, we want to push the easy button and have somebody come in and follow us around and knock food out of our hand. I actually think that would be a viable business. But it is 100% our responsibility. Until I stopped telling myself it was someone else's fault, I really wasn't able to make true changes. You have to take responsibility for what you're eating, what you're doing, and your own journey. And it's actually very liberating and it makes you feel very powerful. So definitely take responsibility for the things that you're doing and the things that you're putting in your body. And if you are struggling with that, don't hesitate to seek help. Ask for help. Sometimes not taking responsibility for what you're doing in your own actions is one thing, but if you are really having a hard time figuring out what you should be doing or how to do that, seek help. There are tons of therapists and things out there who specialize in weight loss. Mental health is super important. I talk about it all the time. Please seek help if you feel that you need it. All right, that's it. Those are my 7 pieces of advice. So hopefully this helped someone. Again, really, if you want to start a journey, starting is the hardest part of anything, at least for me. Starting is very, very hard. And sometimes you just have to start. And again, start small. Start with the smallest thing that you can think of. But guess what? If you do it, you started. And now the hardest part's over. All right. So thanks again for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate it. You know that I appreciate the support. And I love doing these videos and sharing these pieces of myself with you guys. And again, hopefully this is giving someone out there some inspiration to start their own journey, whatever that may be. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you can see my continuing journey, and leave comments. I love comments. So please leave a comment if any of this advice is helping you. Do you have your own piece of advice that you want to share with the viewers? Put it in the comments. So that's it for this week, guys. I will see you next week. Bye.